So I want to talk for a little bit about distance running for baseball players. Now, it's something that's popularized because a lot of skill coaches will run what they call poles, which is running from one foul pole to the other extensively. And when I ask why they do it, they'll generally say they do it to A, build up their legs, and or B, to build some sort of mental resolve or toughness. Now, I want to dispute that a little bit because on the surface, it does sound like it makes sense. You're using your legs to run. It should build them up. And being able to overcome the discomfort of when it starts to get fatiguing sounds like it would build up mental toughness, but unfortunately, scientifically and physiologically, it doesn't really work that way. You see, doing hard things and building up certain parts or areas of your body is relative along a scale, meaning building up your legs for a marathon is not the same as building up your legs for a powerlifting meet or an explosive expression of athleticism, which is what baseball is. And so we need to have activities that prepare you for that type of explosiveness. So in terms of building up your legs, you're much better serving that doing some sort of explosive things like sprinting or things that happen in the weight room that allow you to learn how to move fast. Now, in terms of the mental toughness thing, well, that's a slippery slope. If you want to just get people to be able to manage difficult situations, well, that's about managing your state. And we could do that through a lot of ways, through managing your breath and mental imagery and so forth. But if you really just wanted to challenge someone in a mentally stressful situation, technically you can have them walk a tightrope, right? That's stressful, but is that going to carry over to the game? I don't know. One thing I do know in terms of if it's going to build resolve, there's a lot of different things that are hard, like hill sprints, like 30 by 30 repeats on an echo bike, or doing even a 1 to 3 rep set of deadlifts or squats is really physically challenging and it's hard and you have to overcome that. So we should probably match the difficult things to match the physiology and match the dynamics and environment of your sport. Now, the other thing you need to consider is the structural costs of when you're doing all this running. That if you have someone who's a really good runner and that allows them to have some mental release when they run, great, let them go run. If you have someone who's maybe that big third baseman or that big catcher who already has cranky knees and you send them for distance runs, what you're getting in terms of physiological effect, you're paying for in that extra damage to their ankles, their knees, their hips, their low back that isn't really built to run all that well. So could they benefit from an aerobic base? Sure they could, but there's other ways in which we could do that, and that's not going to be the mainstay of a lot of their preparation. So what could you do? Well, you do things that kind of get you better prepared for your sport, and don't just think on the surface level about body parts or about just generally being put in difficult situations, because there's a lot of different ways in which we can do that. So if you take nothing away from this, I'm going to ask you to please stop doing one thing. Stop running poles.